So we're going to take an in-depth look at the final Halloween Horror Nights spec map for what would have been Halloween Horror Nights 30. You are listening to episode 416 of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Horror Nights may not be going ahead this year, but we are still going to talk about what would have been, what might have been, and what, I don't know, there's tons of stuff coming on. So joining me is Tracy.
Hello.
Darren's not here again still, he is gallivanting around with work, and Chris has dropped us in the as well. He's not here.
Don't pull your punches.
So joining us is Michelle. Hello, Michelle.
Hello.
I invited Michelle on because I know she's suitably bummed as the rest of us are that Horror Nights isn't going ahead this year, so we can all cry together.
And I haven't been to show
sad.
for ages.
It hasn't been that
for
long.
ages. What was it, 3 weeks ago, a month ago?
It wasn't long ago, yeah, something like that, 6 weeks. So we have discussed, as we always do every year, Horror Nights Nightmares spec maps. I think it wasn't that long ago we actually talked about version 3.0, and they've brought out version 4.0 titled the What Would Have Been edition. It's changed a little bit from 3.0, but it has got scare zones on it, which we didn't have last time. So we're going to talk about what we think of it, whether we think it will come back next year, whether we want them to come back for 30 next year, and just kind of discuss some Halloween Horror Night stuff, since though we're not going to get to go this year.
Yeah.
So we'll begin with the scare zones, and the first one
Quick question.
Yes.
Is crying allowed?
Of course.
Okay.
This is me you're talking to. Crying is always allowed.
Yeah, crying isn't optional. I think it's just mandatory at this point.
You know me. So yeah, the first one is down on the map as K, which is, I'll put it down at the front of the park, and that would be the anniversary zone.
Oh.
Which is a strange place to put it, I think.
What, as you come in?
Yeah.
Immediately?
My issue is with putting a scare zone that I would really want to see there is that I will never get to see it. Because as we've proved during Halloween Horror Nights 25 and again through 29 last year, that the only time we went through that scare zone was to leave the park at the end of the night.
Yes, that is very true.
Yeah. But that tends to be, at least in my experience, one of the least crowded areas, like scare zones, because people generally do just pass through it or they circumvent it altogether. So that is kind of a nice one, at least for the 5 years that I've been going, to be able to just go and like actually enjoy the scare zone and interact a little bit more. So that's where, what year was it when it was Chance?
26.
Yeah. So remember they had this little stages up?
Yeah.
Right there in that scare zone with Chance up on the stage and stuff. That was a really cool scare zone to just kind of be there and interact. And she was very interactive. It was a lot of fun. So I think that's a great place for an anniversary scare zone where you can actually possibly interact with some of those characters that we love so much.
But that's my issue with it. You've got to, like I say, like an arcade, we barely went in it last year because you've got to make an effort to go there. If you're doing Stay and Scream or you're on an RIP2, you've got to make an effort to get to that area of the park, and you're not going to happen on it going around the event as normal. It was the same with Vanity Ball last year again. Unless you were going to Clowns, that was the only time we would ever hit that scare zone. It's very back of the park heavy now because all the houses are kind of from like Rip Ride Rockit round to Men in Black and kind of round to Barney and stuff as well. So all the scare zones at that end you're hitting. The ones at the front you've got to make a real effort to get to.
Yeah.
But an anniversary one, it's weird actually because it's kind of, I'm not sure this one and the next one are kind of the similar thing but a bit weird. I think an anniversary zone is a given. They're going to have
Absolutely.
it.
I'd be all over it.
Interesting to see what they put there. Because I still go back to Halloween Horror Nights 25, where my favourite scare zone was the Icon Alley in Hollywood,
that was so
which
good.
was the anniversary zone of that year, really.
That was awesome.
I missed, that was my first year ever going. So the majority of, and I only went one night, and the majority of my night was spent with my eyes closed. So I really, really regret it because I know it was amazing. And I didn't even see the show. I didn't even see Jack's show.
Oh, it was
Oh,
awesome.
it was so good.
We were only there for one night, and we couldn't make it to the show. But anyway.
Yeah, I think it's a given that you'll get that zone next year for 30.
Yeah. So the next scare zone, which was marked by L, 30 years, 30 fears in the New York area. How would that be different than an anniversary
Exactly.
zone?
It's a weird one. What I tend to find with the entrance scare zone is it tends to be not particularly scary. It's more atmospheric than anything else because they want to give people, it's like a calm area in, and then the scares hit you once you get more into the park. Yes, dear, you don't have to put your hand up.
I do because I'm being polite. I suspect that the anniversary zone would be your icons.
Right.
And your 30 years, 30 fears would be perhaps characters from houses.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
You just going through, can you imagine, like, you have to get past a Yeti and a zombie.
Or the body collectors.
Yeah, and I think that's what
that would be so good. So
that would be awesome.
Have both.
Yeah, I'd be well up for that.
And if that's not the case, then Universal, you're welcome to use that one.
You've got to look as well. For me, New York's the biggest area for scare zone as well. So they've got a lot of stuff to be able to put in there.
It is. That's usually a great one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that. I think, again, it's a given that one's going to come back from next year. I think a lot of these scare zones probably will, actually.
Yeah. And then M is, thanks for giving me the one I can't pronounce,
Right?
Terra Cruentas in San Francisco.
You know what this is? It's the Terror Queen.
I don't.
Ah, right.
It's the Terror Queen. So the whole thing for Halloween Horror Nights 30 was that she was the icon at Halloween Horror Nights 10, and she was supposed to come back in 20 years, which made it this year. So that's why that scare zone's there. Everyone was expecting her to get a house. She's got some boobs. I remember discussing it earlier when we talked about the Terror Queen, and yeah, it's interesting. You just have a Google of that, Michelle. You might appreciate it, actually. I did.
And it's in the same scare zone that the was it
Rob Zombie last year, wasn't it?
Yes, with lots of boobs that year too. So this is just going to be the boob scare zone, or what?
That's fair enough. I'm not against that.
This is the skimpy don't bring your kids here scare zone.
Can I ask where the abs scare zone is, please?
That was
I'd be terrified of it. That
was Vanity Ball. We didn't get to see it.
I demand to go back in time then.
So again, another one. There are three scare zones that are very much attached to the history of Halloween Horror Nights, which is great to see. As you look at 25 as the anniversary year, all the scare zones there was only really the Icon Alley that was sort of based around the history of Horror Nights. I suppose Psychoscarapy in New York was a little bit as well. No, and then there's ignore me. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
What?
Because All Night Die and Double Feature kind of was as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah,
whatever. I've no idea what I'm talking about. I've only been to Horror Nights for 3 years. But yeah, I think it's the Terror Queen, like I say, it was that law was that she was supposed to come back after 20 years. So I think it's a guarantee that she has to be part of this event. If not, the diehards would be like, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. That sounds awesome, though.
I'm looking forward to this next one. I think it might have been my favourite scare zone this year.
Really?
And it's in Central Park. Yeah. And that is an unknown original. So they didn't even get what that scare zone is.
Yeah.
I have a weird relationship with the Central Park scare zone because they're all very similar. I feel it's not a massive area. It's usually very beautiful.
So beautiful.
I would have loved to have seen Trick or Treat. I'm gutted we missed that one. But the fact they've always got the... Really?
Yeah, I was saying, it is okay. They could have done better, I think. But it's still a pretty one. It's still pretty.
Yeah, it works well because it's narrow and there's the trees and bushes, but I think it's... Again, but I said this last year, we didn't really... How much we enjoyed Vikings Undead last year, we never really went through it that much. Because it wasn't really... like I say, it's not on that main thoroughfare. Like I said, last year we went from that back half of the park, from like Barney round to Rip Ride Rocket, and you could go back and forwards and hit all the houses barring one and not go anywhere near the other scare zones. So they could do with spreading the houses out a little bit more to give you a reason to go through those other scare zones. That's my issue a little bit with it now.
Okay.
I purposely go through scare zones though. Like, to me, a scare zone isn't just something that you walk through. It's another attraction for me. So I don't know. I don't need to be drawn to them because I'm walking through it.
We didn't
I think
last
I'm a
year,
mixture
really,
of
though,
both.
did we?
I tend to follow you, though. That's the problem. I should just give you a belt and say, hold up, mate. I'll just let you carry on and then just have a night by myself. That sounds like fun as well.
We always make these plans when we come over for Horror Nights that we'll just go and we'll just have an hour. We'll just do the scare zones. And we never do because you get dragged in.
Yeah.
Oh, the house is only 20-minute wait. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're very persuasive.
It's too easy to want to go to the houses because that's the main focus. That's the thing that people go for, and the scare zones are just something to occupy you while you're going from house to house, really. Sorry, Blake, if you're listening.
I disagree with them, Blake.
I do too. I love the scare zones. I almost love the scare zones more than the houses.
No, I would never say that.
Well, because I personally am able to relax a little bit more in the scare zones than I am in the houses. I'm always, even though I love it, I'm still so tense.
Really?
And I have to
Never
really
noticed.
force myself to open my eyes in the houses. Whereas the scare zones, I can really kind of enjoy them.
Never noticed that she was scared.
Fuck.
I think I've still got the fingerprint bruises on my shoulders.
Sorry about
I
that.
still have the F word echoing around my ear rolls from the first 9 time we went through
God.
Yeti.
That was the funniest thing I said that
I was
behind me. That was
crying.
hilarious.
That was the best thing going.
And it was seeing a fly. It was like a bat out of hell coming out that exit door. It was just-
But that's the beauty, like, because you've seen us, we don't get scared at all.
You don't.
We're
I don't know
dead
how.
inside.
But then going through
Yeah.
with people who do is like we get to live it vicariously through everyone else. It's like when the first time we went through with the kids, we got to live it vicariously through them because it's funny watching other people get the scared out of them when we just don't.
Love it. Yeah.
And people, like, I talk to people at work and they go, why do you go if you don't get scared? And I'm just like,
But
it's a difficult,
No,
I can't
because-
really explain it.
Because we can look around and we can see the finer detail that everybody else is missing because they're scared. And we're actually appreciating all that work that's being put in. So actually, we're the best people to go through because that
I wish
work's
I did
getting
get
seen.
some though.
I can scare you, don't worry.
Yeah. I've got your wallet. Ah!
I kind of envy you. I mean, I like that I can get scared, don't get me wrong, but I do wish that I could tone it down a little bit and enjoy it a
No,
little bit
don't.
more, which is why I love the Unmasking the Horror
Yes.
Yeah.
tour, because that I was able to do.
I enjoyed it last year, but I think in hindsight now, the houses weren't the greatest for us, I think. I enjoyed going through Graveyard Games. I would have much preferred to have gone through Yeti than Monsters. And then even
yeah.
Killer Clowns really isn't. It wasn't a behind the scenes one. You didn't get a lot. I know you love Killer Clowns, Tracy, and for you it was a good one to go through. But I think as an actual behind the scenes look at a house, I don't think it was the greatest house to have gone through.
No, I agree.
I think something
But I appreciate
like for me, if I'd have picked
So
three, it'd be Graveyard Games, Yeti, and House of a Thousand Corpses. I think House of a Thousand Corpses would have been an awesome one to have gone through.
Oh, God, yeah.
But that was the thing from last year that they split it. Usually, the 6 house and the 3 house, it's random. So you could do the 3 house tour one day and someone do it the next day and get 3 different houses. Whereas last year it was set. So the 3 house was set with Graveyard Games, Monsters, and Clowns, and then the 6 house was everything else apart from us. So if you actually did both, you could hit all 9 houses, which I wish we'd have had the time and the money because I would have loved to have gone through some of those other ones.
Right.
Look at us reminiscing about Horror Nights, and I'm not crying yet.
Oh, good for us. Well, moving on. So section O, let's see, where is that? That is the Avenue of the Stars area, right? So that would have been Creepshow.
See, I don't know much about Creepshow.
I don't
It
either.
was before my time.
Because it was at Hollywood last year, so I think a lot of people were counting it as a shoe-in for Orlando this year. Is it like a Tales from the Crypt type thing, like a Twilight Zone-y, like an
Creepshow, though, there was
anthology?
a puppet. Not
Yeah.
It wasn't a puppy that hosted it. It was a puppet.
Not
I
a
don't
puppy. That would not be a very
know
scary
much about
scare
it.
zone.
But I think it's one of those, we've talked about it on the show for a lot of years, that Universal, that pot of old classic horror things, I will say things, movies and TV shows, is getting very thin on the ground as far as the stuff they can
Uh-huh.
I think we'll actually talk a little bit about it when we get into the houses for this year. You know, there's only so many classic horrors that you can pick from without repeating yourself. And I think Universal have always been very savvy of not repeating things. They'll do kind of prequels or sequels, but never actually do the same thing twice, other than American Werewolf in London. So it's interesting that they're only just getting around to Creepshow now. But then I suppose it could be a licensing thing as well. I know it takes them a lot of time to get the licenses for these things. But like I say, I don't know much about Creepshow, to be honest.
Well, I just looked it up. It does look kind of like a Tales from the Crypt type show written by Stephen King. So I would assume that would take some finagling to get the licensure for.
Yes. I think it would be one of those ones. I think it would have been like Trick or Treat, like, what was the other one they did? Oh, Killer Clowns. I think it wouldn't surprise me if you see Creepshow as a scare zone. Next year, I think it'll definitely come back. I think if they've worked that long to get the license, I think it will definitely come back for 30. And then potentially at 31, we will see a house. I kind of like that they do that scare zone test pot and then stick it into a house.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know much about Creepshow, so am I bothered whether it comes back or not for next year? No, because I don't really know anything about it. But
you might go and see it and think it's the best thing.
Well,
you've ever
exactly.
seen.
I mean, we'll watch everything like we always do every year before coming to the event. I might watch Creepshow. Yeah. Is it a film, a TV series, or what? I don't actually know.
It's a series. It's an anthology. It's called a horror comedy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I could see it being a good scare zone that's very interactive. I don't know that a horror comedy would be so great as a house, though.
How was Krampus, Michelle? You did Krampus, didn't you?
I did do Krampus, and again, as a scaredy cat, I liked it because it wasn't that scary. But I wouldn't have called it a comedy like this would be.
Krampus is classed as a horror comedy.
Is it really?
Yes.
I love Krampus.
Wow, I'm such a wuss.
Michelle, how did you get through House of a Thousand Corpses last year?
With my eyes closed.
Have you watched the film?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Michelle.
I don't like horror movies. I don't watch horror movies very often, and that's what I tell all of my clients who are too afraid to go to Halloween Horror Nights is, just because you don't like horror movies doesn't mean you won't like this event, because I love the event.
Yeah. Kieran, I'll give Kieran a shout out, our good friend Kieran Elliott. He doesn't watch horror films. He's a right fanny. And yet they went to horror. He normally calls me knobhead. I don't care. Look, he was stalking me out the bloody shop window last week.
Creepy.
So to preface, I will tell everyone what went on. I was walking the dog and I came home and my phone beep beep. And there was a picture of me from behind walking down the street from a window. And the little message said, "Hey up, knobhead."
Oh gosh,
I was like,
creepy.
Stalker.
That's friendship.
Yeah, he doesn't watch horror films yet. They went to Horror Nights for the first time and fell in love with it.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. But if I watch an actual horror movie, I really do have nightmares. As a grown 40-year-old woman, I have nightmares. But Halloween Horror Nights, I love it.
I can't wait for you to take Chris a year upon year upon year and then her show you up.
She totally will too.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Yep.
Real life scares me. That doesn't.
I want to see a game or
This would have been Chris's first year. I was going to take her to the scare zones, but not the house. Well, depending on what the houses were, but not in the houses. So, bummer.
Next year, for sure.
Yep.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
And she'll have her buddies from the UK there with her.
She will indeed. So, this is exciting.
Well, we discussed, didn't we? Because Fear Factor Live, the things were up and...
You want to let me finish speaking before you comment?
Preface.
No shows. It's no great surprise, though, this early out. So, yes, Fear Factor Stage and Central Park would have been the shows, but there are none, so can't really discuss them. Yeah, well, there would have been new rest areas then. So go
somewhere. And let me just tell you, those rest areas are really stupid because they're never where you need them to be when you need them. So it's always better just to grab a drink and a table and sit down somewhere and have a rest.
Yeah.
Scare zones overall, I think the first three would be all about. I think if we didn't get that, again, I know I keep talking about it and we don't do the scare zones. It's one of the things I look back at Halloween Horror Nights 25 and listened to a ton of podcasts, not our own, when we came back and realised how much we missed in those scare zones, and yet still never really made the effort to go through any last year. I think the one we spent the most amount of time in last year was probably Zombieland.
Probably,
really?
yeah.
No, we spent a good bit of time in Rob Zombie.
Think about it, though. You were only walking through it. You think how much time you're spending in Zombieland because the entrance to what, 4 or 5 houses there?
We did stand around it.
A little bit, but
Rob
you're going to
Zombie's.
spend more time there because there
yeah.
was Ghostbusters, Yeti, Us, Stranger Things.
Yes, true.
The fair amount of the houses are at that. This is what I'm saying, because if you're going to the houses, you're going to spend most of your time at the back side of the park because that's where most of them are. You look like last year, Ghostbusters, Yeti, Us, Stranger Things, House of a Thousand Corpses, Depths of Fear and Nightingales were all from sort of Men in Black round to Rip Ride Rocket. So you're only going to hit 2 scare zones? Rob Zombie and Zombieland.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then you'd end up, for a lot of the time, because even if you go around to Animal Actors and have hit Monsters and Graveyard Games, it still brings you out by Men in Black. So then you're more likely to go back down the way you've came. So you go back through Zombieland, and it's just weird. The parks, I know there's not a lot they can do about it. It's just, as far as the scare zones go, they're not in a place where you're going to naturally go through them, which frustrates me a little bit, but I suppose it is what it is. They can't do a lot about it. It's just...
Why don't they ever have any scare zones back there around Men in Black? I mean, there's so much space back there.
I don't know, a licensing thing maybe?
Maybe.
Because they've usually got like the Chainsaw Hordes in Springfield. That's obviously a reason because they're not allowed to do anything else up there because of the licensing, and it could be a same licensing thing with Sony. As the same as why you haven't got anything in the London waterfront as well, because didn't they, even as far as putting a Horror Nights projection image on the front of the London facade and J.K. Rowling hit the roof?
Yeah, she did.
Which is ridiculous. I mean, come on. The whole Potter series lends itself. I'm just dying for them to do something there. It would be.
I know.
It would be awesome.
It so would.
Right. We will take a quick break and we'll be back to talk about the houses.
Have you taken a stroll down Diagon Alley and visited Gringotts Bank? Taken a ride through New York with Jimmy Fallon? Visited the Truffalo trees in Seuss Landing or hung out with a real-life Transformer? No? Then what are you waiting for? At Universal Orlando Resort, there truly is an option for everyone. Or if you're leaning a little more towards pixie dust rather than wands and potions, Disney destinations around the globe await your arrival. No matter the adventure, our sponsors have you covered. Be sure to let the experts at Mouse Muggle Travel Company take care of all your travel needs, earning the distinction of being an earmarked agency specializing in Disney destinations, as well as becoming one of the first to be named a You Preferred agency with Universal Parks and Resorts Vacations. Mouse Muggle Travel Company will ensure you receive top-rated customer service. Just visit mouseandmuggle.com to fill out a no-obligation quote request, or send your request to info@mouseandmuggle.com. Their team can take care of you no matter where in the world you want to go. With a flick of their wand and a little bit of pixie dust, the process will be so seamless, some might even say it's simply magical.
Welcome back, everyone. We are discussing Horror Night Nightmares, 4th and final spec map for the Halloween Horror Nights that would have been this year, and we will move on to the houses. And the first one we will come to is A on the map, which is Soundstage 22, and that is Universal Monsters The Bride.
I think it sounds awesome.
And you're the Monsters fan.
What?
Bride? I don't know. Maybe it was last year. She left me a bit cold.
Monsters last year was at the bottom of my list.
I liked it.
For a reason. It was terrible. It did not do anything for me. So this just... I can understand if it was Universal Monsters The Brides, plural, and you could have like Dracula's misses, but from what I'm assuming, they're focusing on the Bride of Frankenstein.
See, she's my least favourite anyway.
It's just kind of...
I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. It has been known, rarely, but has been known.
I think it would have all the brides. Why would they have a house based on just one not scary character?
I don't know.
I think that's where my head's gone. That's why I'm a bit...
But what other brides are? There's only Dracula and There isn't a Mrs.
Dracula
Wolfman.
had a lot of...
There isn't a Mrs. Mummy.
Why couldn't they create one?
Yeah.
It is original.
Universal Monsters.
And
no,
artistic
I would
license.
argue that that's an IP.
Well, created by Universal, so can't they create a little bit more?
The sequels?
I wouldn't. It's a weird one as well, considering where Universal Monsters was last year, to put this is your marquee house.
So wait a second. I'm looking at the actual picture of the speculation map, and it does say Universal Monsters, The Brides, with an S.
Well, that's my mistype then.
Yes.
All right, well, I'll just edit all of that out. Anyway, it still doesn't make me get any more excited about it because there's more people I'm not interested in. Yeah, it just Monsters last year just left me completely cold. I enjoyed it. Didn't bother me at all. You've changed your tune.
No, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't what I wanted it to be.
I liked it. But did I like it because of some of the fun memories that I have from it? Like when our good friend Joe was, eye to eye with the monster.
That's hilarious.
Surprised the monster more than he surprised Joe.
Tracy's biggest issue was the tortoise in the Creature from the Black Lagoon scene. Tortoise, not turtle, tortoise.
The poor thing drowned. It was a corpse.
This is one for me that I'd be quite happy if it didn't end up making the event next year. And as I say, it's an interesting one to put in your... That's your house.
I think
Soundstage 22 is where you put the draw for that year. That
is a very main house, so that would be weird.
The one they promoted last year a lot was Ghostbusters, and that's where that was. It always seems to be that's where, because it's got the biggest area to be able to put the switchbacks in, so it's the one they expect to have the biggest queues, and that for me, I wouldn't expect it to have the biggest queues.
No, I wouldn't either.
So interesting.
Placement is definitely weird, for sure. I like the house concept. And I think I would enjoy it. I think that would be one that I would be able to easily keep my eyes open. And so I think I would enjoy it. But I think the placement is strange.
This is Michelle's bar for whether a house is good or not, is whether I can keep my eyes open through some of it.
Well, it's different enjoyment factors. I like the ones that scared the crap out of me too. But I enjoy those for a different reason. It's an adrenaline rush. Whereas the ones that I could actually keep my eyes open, I'm able to enjoy it like you can, where I see the details and appreciate the work that went into it. So
you could just put some binaural audio on and sit you outside and save you having to buy a $200 ticket and just shake it around a little bit.
No. I've heard that putting earplugs in, though, helps a lot. So maybe I'll try that in the future.
Just put sunglasses on as well.
Or I'll just go through with you guys like always and hide behind you.
I can be up for that.
Yeah. All right. So I'm up next with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that would be House B, which is right next door.
Now, this is an interesting one because they've done Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and very recently, I think it was 26 or 27, if I'm not mistaken. It depends which one. I think the rumours I heard around this were that it was going to be based on the remake.
Okay, wait, have we seen that?
Yes, and I actually really preferred it. And I know our good friend Andy DiGenova will agree with me that it's better than the original. Have you seen Texas? I don't even know why I'm going to ask this bloody question.
Yeah.
Michelle, have you seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I've seen parts of it, but no, not all of it.
So you've seen the trailer?
Yeah, I've seen with one eye. I've seen the trailer.
It was at 26. Yes, honestly, I'd be quite happy to see that because having the film is gruesome as hell. I think that would be this year's or next year's, whatever it's going to be, House of a Thousand Corpses. It's good to see that. I know we've talked about, and I know Darren's issue has been that it's moving away from the gore and stuff, whereas Texas Chainsaw Massacre is all about that. I think it would be this year, next year's House of a Thousand Corpses for definite, and I'd be well up for it.
Now, I was at 26, which would have been my second year going, so still a little bit afraid of things. And I remember this one actually, although it scared me, of course, that's a given, but I remember it being a bit monotonous, kind of like the Halloween houses, where it's just Jason, Jason, Jason. Okay. Like every single room is Jason. And after a while, you're like, oh, okay. Hi, Jason. So I remember it being like that, where it was just like, Leatherface.
I need to jump in. Before we get hate mail, I think you'll find that Halloween's Michael Myers.
Oh,
I
sorry.
didn't even know.
Just before people go, what is she talking about? It's Michael Myers.
Sorry, I don't watch horror movies, so don't.
Jason's Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Well, there was one where they had them both, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was Friday the 13th versus Jason, wasn't it?
No, it was Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
Freddy
Michelle, you're
versus
not doing
Jason.
yourself
Yes,
any favors.
gosh, dang it. So anyway, this was one of those where it just felt like every room was the same thing over and over again,
Yeah.
which I'm not a big fan of.
No, I can see that.
Yeah.
But at least
So it depends on how they do it.
at least you get a proper chainsaw. Because I know a lot of the arguments is that chainsaw houses, putting it in tents, they can't use a proper chainsaw because they're too enclosed and because of the petrol fumes or whatever. At least in a sound stage to be able to use a proper chainsaw. I'd be well up for that. I hope that one comes back next year.
Yes, I agree. I want that one.
I wouldn't be against it. I just hope that they don't just do a repeated room over and over again. Somehow make it a little bit different every time you turn the corner.
Yeah, I can see that. I remember watching, I know Darren took a lot of video of horror when they did Halloween actually, and it was very much, it was the jump scare was that Halloween music every time he popped out. So yeah, I can see that. But I think
so if they can make it like a sequential, like you're almost walking through the movie type of deal.
Yeah,
that would be fine.
Like House of a Thousand Corpses was.
Yeah,
House of a Thousand Corpses was awesome. But yeah, at least it lends itself to having a decent icon in there as well. You know, Leatherface is a huge guy. He's intimidating as hell.
Yeah.
So I would love to see that.
Yeah, and a chainsaw inside a house it's really hard not to jump at just because the sound alone is mind-boggling. So
yeah, I think I'd jump at that.
Yeah, it was a loud house. I do remember that.
Yeah, because I had the camera flashed like in the, I think for Texas Chainsaw Massacre has that weird like
oh yeah,
like camera flash fade, like the old schooly, which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So C is that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson house. Bedtime stories of the Tooth Fairy.
This is your abs.
That'd be scary.
This is where you get the
That's
abs,
for the abs,
Tracy.
Well, she was promised them in Blood Pit last year, but she didn't get them.
No, I didn't. I want my money back.
This is an interesting one because this was on the spec map for last year.
Yes.
And was ultimately replaced by us, I do believe.
It wasn't us. We didn't do it.
And as I wish, a UUOP house, that would be awesome.
That'd be terrifying for us.
And as far as we heard, it was cast and ready to go. So it's interesting why it didn't go ahead last year, but
wasn't it something about they got the rights to us like last minute or something?
possibly. Us was still a weird one. I'm still not sure how I feel about that house. It was weird.
So I believe this one could potentially be one of my favorite houses for this year. Because I think it's going to be absolutely like gory and disgusting to the point where you're like, oh my God, I can't look. Like, because it's the Tooth Fairy. So you know there's going to be lots of gruesome scenes of like people's teeth being ripped out, and there's going to be gross smells, and a lot of people have a fear of the dentist. I don't know. I just think this could be one of those sensory issue houses that are just going to get you.
Cycles go to work then.
Tracy and I are going to walk through it and go, well, that's wrong.
Wouldn't use those instruments.
What the hell are you using that for? Come on.
Where's the sterilisation policy?
For me, it all depends on how they do the actual Tooth Fairies. Because I know when we talked about this last year, our thoughts went to, is it Hellboy 2 with the little Tooth Fairy things?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
They would have to be incredibly creepy and not just like, I kind of expected them to be like the Nightingales, that type of thing. I wouldn't be against it. I think it'd be an interesting one. And the originals
I think
always.
it would be cool.
I think it will be. I agree with you, Michelle. I think it will be one that will be gruesome because the originals tend to be, because they can get away with it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
something like this.
The fact that it was supposed to be there last year and they've pushed it again for this year means they obviously really want to do it. So that would get me excited because, like I said, the originals tend to be my favourite houses for the most part.
Yeah, me too. And I can already, like, just thinking about it and talking about it, I can smell the house. Like, like the house where you walked through and it was a Humpty Dumpty and you smelled it smelled like sulfur or whatever, or the really bloody houses, it almost smells like blood. So this is going to smell like the dentist office and blood and
cloves,
cloves,
spit,
awesome.
and it's going to be awful.
That sounds
and
awesome.
great at the same time.
You've convinced me. I like it.
bad breath, gingivitis. Bring it on.
Yeah.
The next one, actually, the next two are probably the ones that I've been most looking forward to. So House D in Soundstage 25 would be Horror Nights icons. And if we can get all of them, and I mean all of them, I'm talking Jack, the usher, the caretaker, the storyteller, the director, whatever. What was the one from 20 called? Was he just... I'll get there. Bring Eddie in.
Chance.
Yeah, Chance. Lady Luck.
Lady Luck, yeah, that's what I was trying to think of.
I'm trying to think of the one that was in the little girl who was in the 25 house that came out of the sarcophagus thing screaming. What's she called? My memory's getting terrible. Darren will be, if you're listening to this, I do apologise because he'll know all these. I can't remember what she was called. I can't remember what the icon for 20 was, like the big devil dude, but I can't think what he was called. Was he just called Death? But this one I would be all over. Like I say, this one and the next one would be the houses that I would be like, if they don't live up to my expectation, I'm never coming back again.
So, well, again, this is similar to the Scare Zone issue where we had 30 Years of Fears and the anniversary. It's very similar. So Horror Nights icons and anniversary house, those are two different things, but they sound very similar to me.
But for me, like we kind of discussed with the Scare Zones, that the icons house would be the icons. The anniversary house would effectively be Jack Presents 25 Years of Monsters and Mayhem with an extra 5 years on it. So I would expect it to be a house made up of sections of previous houses, which Jack Presents 25 Years is still...
That was very good.
It was amazing, and it's still the best house. Like, I loved Yeti last year. It was far better than any other house at last year, but it still doesn't even touch Jack Presents 25 Years of Monsters and Mayhem. It was awesome. And then for someone who hasn't been going that long, well, for all three of us, for people that haven't been going or don't get to go that much or haven't been going that long, to kind of get to delve into those past houses that you haven't seen, even in a little way like that, would be awesome.
Yeah, that was a very cool year to be a first year. It really was.
Yeah, I was kind of saying that to the kids of the first year. They went, you're getting to walk through some of the history that you, because you haven't been coming, but you've still got to see like sections of probably a dozen houses that have been here before.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So those two houses would be, if we were doing a hype list at this point, them two at the top.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to put one above the other, just the pair of them together.
Right.
Because like I say, after Jack Presents, I would have very high hopes for both of those houses.
See, I'm surprised they wouldn't have one of those houses in the A house, the Soundstage 22 right there in the front. Because that, if I recall, that's where Jack Presents was,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right in the front. And that was a really popular house. So that seems more logical that you would put that iconic house right there front and center.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you've got your anniversary Scare Zone leading into that house as well. That makes perfect sense. I mean, this is just a spec map. They could be changed,
Well, they have changed it. They're not doing it.
They're usually pretty good at where the placement and stuff is, but they could have, they could say, it might end up where, if this map ends up being perfect for next year, other than placement, you might find that one of those is in that house, and it does make more sense.
Yeah.
So, next one in position F is Twisted Tradition Pumpkin Lord, which is Sprung Tent 2.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
This gets me excited.
We'll go with the traditional jack-o'-lantern type.
Well, haven't they done Twisted Traditions as a Scare Zone before? I'm sure it was in Central Park a couple of years ago. Like, anything pumpkin related is awesome. And this...
Of course.
See, one of the houses over the last few years that I am so disappointed that I didn't get to do is Scarecrow the Reaping. Yeah. Everybody raves about it, and I'm like, so wish I could have got to see that. Just from that title kind of gives me that vibe a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think this would kind of be that, but with like pumpkin people, if that's such a thing. I don't know. But very much a very Halloween house.
Well, if it's based on the scare zone, I think would be amazing because that was one of my favorite scare zones ever. Not only was it beautiful, but the characters in the like walking around the scare zone were really, really awesome.
That was the one with the big pumpkin, like the light up pumpkin head, wasn't it? There's a guy on stilts with like a black cloak and a big light up pumpkin head. It was awesome. Yeah. Yes.
And there were a lot of people walking around with pumpkin heads, and there were some really larger than life type characters. Of course, there always are walking through there too. But it was a very beautiful, a very well done scare zone. One that I wanted to hang out in a lot. So that could be really awesome.
I think if you look, we've had a bit of a hint to this house in a T-shirt that's available in the Tribute store. There is the new one that came out about a week ago that has a pumpkin guy on it, and I think I'm just trying to find it now.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at pictures now.
There you go.
Trying to refresh my memory, and there were characters walking around that looked like they just looked like pure skeletons that were glowing from within. It was just a really, really awesome scare zone.
Yeah.
And then they did have the one really tall pumpkin guy that was, walking around kind of owning the scare zone.
Yeah, I think that it lends itself well to doing rooms with multiple characters in, but only like one actor. It worked really well. Yeah, that one, again, another original that I'd be well up for. I will be disappointed if that doesn't come back next year.
Yep, that one would be awesome.
Yeah, I like the idea of that. That's traditional and twisted.
It's just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be bright and colourful and loud. I like that. Oh, yeah. It could be a 3D house, with all the
I think Universal have stepped away from 3D houses at this point. When was the last time they did a 3D house?
Alice.
No, I think you'll find it was Chance's house at 26, and everyone said it was.
When was Alice? Is that before that?
25.
That was the best thing I've ever done in my life. Well,
Chance's house was 3D?
Yes.
I do not remember
it had
that
the longest title house ever.
Lunatic's Playground, is that right?
Yeah, but there was more to it. That way, it wasn't just that. Anyway, but yeah, it was Lunatic's Playground 3D, and from what I've heard, it was absolutely terrible.
I love Chance, so I did not think it was terrible, but I just do not remember it being 3D.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And I think that's the last time they did a 3D house. I may be wrong. People, please, actually tell me if you have, but I'm pretty sure that was the last year they did a 3D house.
No, it has to be, because I didn't even remember that one being 3D, so I thought it was Alice.
Yeah.
Which I loved in 3D. The only problem that I had was keeping the glasses on.
Yeah, they're not the greatest things.
Because they were just the little cardboard ones, you know? If they had like legit plastic ones that would have stayed on, I think I would have enjoyed it more. But I just feel like the whole house I was just spent trying to find my glasses on the floor, which is maybe why I thought Chance's was not a 3D house, because I probably didn't even wear the damn things.
I mean, technically, aren't they all 3D houses?
Well, yeah, right?
Is it 4D actually, technically?
No.
What is real life?
3D. Well, like 10D or something in it. Touch, sight, sound, smell. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think you'll see a 3D house again, to be honest. Especially in the current climate. I don't think they're going to be wanting to give people 3D glasses out and stuff. It's another contact point. So next up, this one does not fill me with excitement in the slightest, and it's titled Mannequin Theatre in the Sprung Tent 1. I'm sure it's creepy if you're scared.
No, I'm out.
Really?
Yeah, I don't do dolls and things like that. I'm out.
That's what I was going to say. This one scares the crap out of me.
No, you know that every 15th mannequin is a person.
That's the point. Yeah.
I'm going to kick every mannequin.
It doesn't leap out at me.
That's one of the scariest things as hell, is when you can see a whole bunch of the same object and you don't know which one is real and which one isn't. Like, that was the only thing about Killer Clowns that was a little bit creepy, was that one room you walk through. There was a part in Jack's house too that did that with a bunch of clowns.
Yeah.
And I found myself on the damn floor in that house because the clowns scared the crap out of me. I didn't know they were real.
The problem is they don't change where they are. So when you go, like us, when you're going multiple nights, you know which one it is every time after the first time. It would be better if they could change it up, and they don't. Well, or at least not in my experience.
See, the reason I'd really appreciate it though, and I would go in, and I would like the fact that I would be on edge. And the thing is, if we didn't have a house that was straight onto the road, and we had more trick-or-treaters coming, I would totally be sat in a deck chair to look like an overstuffed kind of scarecrow type thing.
Oh, yeah.
To scare the crap out of the kids coming to the door. I would totally be that person. So,
Oh, yeah. Well, in the Us house, didn't they change the position of the real actor? I don't remember it being the same one every time we went through.
What are we talking about? Which section?
At the end, when it was just a whole bunch of people all dressed in red robes.
Right. I don't even remember that bit.
That was the scariest part. Are you kidding me?
No, I think I'd probably switched off entirely by that point. I honestly literally do not remember the end of that house.
I think this sounds like a creepy house.
I think it'd be very creepy, done correctly.
Yeah.
Especially if the mannequin waits until you've passed them and then just breathes on you from behind.
I just got chills thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be bothered. Doesn't do out for me, I'm afraid.
You have no emotions, man.
Are you kidding me? I've got more emotions than the two people I'm currently sat talking to put together.
Oh, it was a very ironic statement, wasn't it? All right, up next, The Haunting of Hill House.
I've literally been haunted by this because I have spent 6 weeks studying this bloody thing and I don't ever want to see it, read it, hear about it ever again.
Well,
But
okay
yes,
then.
I can understand why they've got it.
Tell us your true feelings,
Yes.
Tracy.
Again, honestly, I think we've talked about this before. It's not one that I would be excited to see. I thought the TV show was okay. I think people raved about it more than they should have done.
The book is completely
But it's
different.
not going to be based on the book. It will be based on the TV show.
But it's all about it's modern gothic horror. It's like Us House last year. It's about the uncanny, which is what's familiar, but it's skewed.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, I could do without this one.
I think this one could. I mean, yeah, much as I'm like so over this whole story at the moment, I think done right, this could be quite visually stunning when you think you've got that huge, like, double, triple height conservatory with the staircase. If they did that with somebody at the top who was about to fall.
I don't even remember
And,
that.
you know, you've got that weird, great statue in the middle of a hall, in the middle of the house.
I must have blanked all this out because I barely remember the TV show, to be honest.
You know, the claustrophobic feel of the corridors, and you know, you could have areas where you're being called to and the door handles are rattling and stuff like that.
I don't remember any of that.
You know, you could have the outdoor area as well. They've done it before where you've been inside but outside. There is a lot of potential for that one now. Actually, quite interested by it.
Well, this could kind of be this year's Graveyard Games type situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, indoor, outdoor. It's visually appealing, not necessarily the scariest of all of them. But I did like Graveyard Games, so who knows? Maybe I would like this one.
I think it's more creepy than scary, which in some respects is better because creepiness stays with you longer than a scare is.
Yeah.
A scare's like wasabi. Bang, hit, gone. But creep gets under your skin and stays there.
I was talking...
That's what later on you'll go, oh, as something reminds you of it, you'll have that little shudder.
I was talking to our oldest, and it's the creepy houses that get him over the jump scare houses. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually comparing it to Graveyard Games piqued my interest a little bit more because I really enjoyed that house. Okay.
Yeah.
I want this one there next year now, especially now I've studied it and I know a lot about.
I just don't want to have to watch the whole series again.
Nearly had to. You're nearly watching it with me.
I wasn't.
I blagged it.
Mind you, there'll be another bloody series out by the time. Aren't they supposed to be doing a new one?
There isn't a book. It's all completely free artistic license.
Yeah. I'm intrigued, but if it changed out for something else, I wouldn't be that sad.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
Now, this is the house next.
Yes.
That should have been in position A, really.
I've wanted this forever.
Bearing in mind where Ghostbusters...
Forever.
Where Ghostbusters was last year, I'm surprised this isn't either this or if you're going to put... What was it here? I can't even remember now. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. This would have been the one I would have put there if you're going to put an IP at the front of the park.
Where is I?
Parade Warehouse.
Where's that?
Over by E.T.
All right, yeah, okay.
It was where Monsters was last year. Or Graveyard Games, one of the two.
So, yes. So, position I, Parade Warehouse, is the ghost with the most, Beetlejuice. God, yeah.
This would be awesome.
I need this so much. In fact, I'm I was already looking out for black and white striped shorts.
Oh, what a great cosplay.
Uh-huh.
It's not cosplay, but whatever.
We need a universal version of Bounding. We need a name for it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is one. Somebody let me know.
I think this is a guarantee it will be there next year.
It has to be.
I agree. It has to be.
Beetlejuice, I'm not a huge fan of the film.
It's
really
funny.
Really.
It's all right.
You're bloody
It's
lucky
funny
we got to 20 years,
because
mate.
the Beetlejuice character's good. The rest of it's kind of...
Well, I mean, it's a cheesy movie, yeah,
back.
but it's iconic.
They would need to have a lot of Beetlejuices playing that role as best they
my-
can. And we know they can because you got them around the park.
There's
Shut up.
so much material here. They could do every single house
So
on
much.
Beetlejuice and still not use all the material. I don't want anything left out. I want to walk through the entire film. I demand it.
Yes, I want to see how they're going to change their faces, where it's
Yeah.
normal and then it goes into that weird
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
buggy eye
interesting.
thing. That
Yeah.
would be great.
I want to walk through the waiting room. I even want to go to the hardware store.
You better come out to Dio, though.
Well, there will be anyway, because I'll be singing the bugger.
It has to be that at the end. Like coming out of Killer Clowns last year singing the Killer Clowns song. It has to be, you have to come out singing Dio.
Yeah.
And they've got the food all ready.
Interesting. Yeah, because they haven't got Stranger Things to lean
Shrimp.
on for the food and stuff. You won't eat any of it.
I wouldn't eat it, but it's there. It's perfect. And all you need is someone not squeamish to put the shrimp tails on the fingers. See, there's merch as well. Gloves.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm surprised this one isn't in the Killer Clown space. Not because it's small or needs to be small, but that tends to be where they put like the comedy-ish house.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
where Krampus was. That's where Killer Clowns was. That's where Trick or Treat was.
It's where Alice Asylum in Wonderland was
Yeah.
as well, which is
Yeah.
kind of like that house as well.
hmm
Interesting. But yeah, all over that.
All
All
right.
over that.
So I'm the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
Which brings us to the next one in the Shrek Theatre. And that
Okay, I'll
would
give you
be
that was good.
The Demons of Billie Eilish.
Yes.
I like Billie
I love
Eilish.
Billie
I
Eilish.
still don't know how the hell she translates into a house.
I don't really listen to her stuff.
Well, you should, because
So-
she's very good. I like her
She's-
a lot.
She's very dark and deep.
Yeah, the lyrics are, but it doesn't lend itself. Like, so you look at...
Seen any of the music videos?
Yeah, they're not really dark. Not really. They don't lend themselves to a Halloween Horror Nights house.
Bury a Friend.
That's one song out of like 3 albums.
Can't think what the other one is. The other one's got a...
So do you think this is a situation where Universal reached out to Billie Eilish for the proposal, or do you think maybe Billie Eilish reached out to Universal with the proposal? Kind of like Jimmy Fallon. It was his idea. It's just so strange to me that Universal would think, oh, we've got to make a house out of this. Let's contact Billie Eilish. It's just strange. I don't know.
Well, you look originally on the spec map, it was supposed to be a scare zone.
Mhm.
And then there were 50-50 on whether it was going to be a scare zone as a house. And we were like, well, it makes more sense. I think the original rumour was it was going to be part of the Lagoon Show. And we were like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then it was like, oh, hang on, it might be a scare zone or a house. And now it's a house. And then I think on the last spec map, on the one before, it was Universal Monsters The Bride with music by Billie Eilish. And then she got her own house in the next spec map. And now it's changed. We've got the Demons of Billie Eilish in our own house. I like Billie Eilish. I'll be intrigued to go through it.
I want to go
Because
through
I
it.
like her music. It makes me go, okay, I kind of want to see what it's like.
Yeah. And I mean, it sounds like it might be a really artistically appealing, aesthetically appealing type house. I don't know.
No, and that's the weird thing. You just don't know. That's the thing. When someone said, "Oh, we're doing a scare zone on Hellbilly Deluxe," you were like, "Okay, fair enough." You watch the videos and you go, "Yeah, I can see it." This, you go, "Huh."
Right?
Yeah, but I'm intrigued by it.
I know, and that's the thing
And that's why I want it.
because she is dark, and for someone her age, she's incredibly like. It's not surprising most kids
Incredibly
commit
intelligent.
suicide nowadays, but
Well, do you
that's not
think
what-
this is the new Stranger Things where they're trying to draw in
oh, of course.
a certain market?
Yeah, I think they tried. Well, we've said, haven't we, that they're not dumbing it down, but it's getting
Well,
less
again,
intense.
as I've said earlier, the pot to drag from old classic
Well, that's
horrors
true.
is getting less and less. And even new horror is, they're starting to struggle
Crap.
with licensing as far as, well, that's not true. It's not crap. But
They
licensing,
don't make horror like they used to.
I think a lot of it's better now. I think all the James Wan stuff and Blumhouse stuff is awesome, and it's better than some of the old. But I think because of licensing issues now with Warner Brothers doing stuff and other companies doing their own things now, that licensing's becoming a bigger issue than it ever used to be for Universal, and they're having to be a little looser with the term Halloween Horror Nights and go along the Halloween route rather than the horror route.
Right.
And I think things like this are them branching out because they have to. There's only a finite amount of horror, like we said, movies and TV shows and stuff that you can do stuff on. And if you're struggling for licenses and stuff, then you've got to go with what you can get. And I think that's where it comes from. Look at Beetlejuice. You would never have seen Beetlejuice at Halloween Horror Nights 10 years ago. You would never have seen Ghostbusters at Halloween Horror Nights. You certainly wouldn't have seen Stranger Things.
God, I love Stranger Things. So, 2 questions. I wonder if these IPs, if their contracts are going to carry over.
That's the interesting thing. I think so, because they must have signed these contracts knowing that the potentiality of this event not going ahead
Potentiality
was there. Anyone else want to say it? Listeners, you want to send me a message of you all saying potentiality?
Go on, do it, all of you.
But
no jokes, all I'll hear is his phone going ping,
they
ping,
must have
ping.
known that there was a potential for this event to be cancelled because of COVID, or even go ahead with certain restrictions on it. So the fact that they were happy to sign contracts at that point, I think going forward into next year, definitely.
Okay. Well, and spinning off of your idea of having a hard time finding content, I, for one, would be perfectly fine with maybe only having one IP. I love their originals.
Yeah.
So I think that they should give more freedom to their creative team and let them go at it.
Agreed.
Forget the IPs, save some money, and let your creative team come up with stuff, because those are the best ones.
It's actually quite interesting looking at that list. If that list ends up becoming true, then it's 50-50. I think last year was 60-40 on IPs.
Like on this list, Beetlejuice. Like, keep Beetlejuice.
Yes.
That could be your one IP. The rest, create new ones. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, I think you find that the reason the originals back in the day were what they were is because they couldn't get the licenses for them, so they kind of did their own versions of them. But now they can get the license, and they realize that being able to use an IP in your promotional material brings a lot more people through the gates. Then I understand why they do it.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, 2 of my 3 favorite houses from last year were originals. The same goes for 25. And then going back to Tracy, when we first went, I think me, Darren and Chris talked about it a couple of weeks ago with Christina. Going back to 2004, the first year we went, there was not a single IP at that event. And that was the event that made us fall in love with Halloween Horror Nights. So I don't think you'll ever see it go back to that, but it would be nice if they ever did.
Sure would, yeah.
So if that ended up being the event, obviously we get whatever the Central Park Scare Zone is, and we bring back Marathon of Mayhem and Academy of Villains. Would you be happy with that? No changes, as is. Would you be happy with that being Halloween Horror Nights 30 next year?
Actually, I would, yes.
Yeah, I think so.
It seems quite well-rounded, actually. You've got your comedy, you've got your classic, you've got plenty of your classics. You've got stuff that people are familiar with, you've got stuff that people aren't familiar with.
Yep.
Yeah,
you got a little bit of gore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of fun, bit of music.
Personally,
You've got TV, you've got movie.
I wouldn't be upset if they changed a couple of them. But if that turns out
for the better
to be the map for next year, I would be excited for it.
Yeah. There's a couple things I could do without, but I still think it would be an awesome year.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to reach out to listeners. Let us know, would you be happy if Halloween Horror Nights 30 was that exact map for this year, for next year? Send us an email at podcast@uuopodcast.com.
Yep. My only request would be, since they have 2 years to prep for this event now, is that they move it over to islands as well, make it a 2-park event.
I don't think you'll ever see that again, but
I don't think so, but a person can dream, can't they?
I'm just happy we got to see it when it was.
Yeah, that was a fluke.
It really was. Right, yeah. So as I said, Horror Nights might not be going ahead this year, but we have plenty of Horror Nights content coming up this year. We have an interview in 2 weeks' time I am incredibly excited about.
Oh, yes.
We have another interview in, I'm not sure when we've got him scheduled for. It might be 6 weeks. So yes, plenty of Halloween Horror Nights content. And there's more, actually. There's more. There's tons of Horror Nights content. Tons of it. Just because it's not going on does not mean that we are not going to talk about it, because it's our favourite event, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad now that we're not going that it's not happening, so I don't have to sit at home and cry watching everyone else. Even if it had been a tiny little bit of what Halloween Horror Nights would have been, I would have still been sat at home with total FOMO. And now I don't have to.
Yeah.
Now I just keep my fingers crossed as this COVID off and we get to come over next year.
Yes.
Beep that out.
Oh, I will.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's going to do it for another episode. Thank you, Michelle, for stepping in for Chris and Darren.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.
I love it.
It was fun.
It was. It's just, yeah, it's
Two
weird.
girls against the boy.
Weird talking about a map. Because, we're used to talking about a Horror Nights event.
Why'd you have to say it like that? Now I've got Dora the Explorer and the going off my head.
We're used to talking about Halloween Horror Nights maps and not going, but then we're also, last year, talking about the Horror Nights map, getting excited for going. But to talk about an event that isn't even happening is weird.
It almost gives me a little bit of, it makes me feel a little better, actually, talking about it, instead of just pretending like it's not happening or that that terrible announcement wasn't made that it's canceled. Yeah. Talking about it actually makes me feel a little better. So.
Good. I hope it makes everyone else feel a bit better as well.
Chris, this was a great episode for you to miss, because now I got to talk about it instead of you.
Right, so that will do it for another unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. We will finish, as we always do, with a Universal Is, and this one comes from Rudy Ryan. If you want to help wrap up the show, all you've got to do is send us what you think Universal is in 3 words or less, and email that to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com, and we will end the show with them. But for now, Rudy says Universal is heaven on earth. See you next week.
Guess that wraps things up for another unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. You guys did all right. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest, keyword UUO Podcast. Listen and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or anywhere podcasts are found. You can find our blog at uuopodcast.com. Send us your spews, which Lou gets your poo recordings, questions, or comments to podcast@uuopodcast.com. Check out our friends, the Theme Park Duo, and our awesome sponsors, Mouse Muggle Travel Company. So, until next time, don't give up your day job. Say cheese. See you later.